Welcome to Prescribing Lifestyle, the podcast that's all about empowering you to live your healthiest, happiest life. I'm your host, Dr. Avi Charlton, and each week we'll dive into the latest research, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you optimize your well-being. From nutrition and fitness to mental health and mindfulness, we'll explore every aspect of lifestyle medicine, giving you the tools you need to make informed decisions and take control of your health. Whether you're looking into preventing disease, managing chronic conditions, or simply elevate your quality of life, Prescribing Lifestyle is here to guide you on your journey to wellness. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on this transformative adventure towards a healthier, happier you. Let's dive in. Welcome to another masterclass. Today, I have a topic I'm passionate about. The topic is Breathe to Thrive, Unlocking Wellness Through Functional Breathing. Today, I'm going to talk about functional breathing. It's free, it's available to you at all times. You can always harness your breathing, and every one of us can improve. I'm going to talk about how you can thrive just by breathing, becoming better and improving our breathing. Some of you might not know that I'm actually a certified coach with Oxygen Advantage. I'm a functional breathing instructor. I've done a bit of online learning through Oxygen Advantage. Patrick McKeown has written a book called Oxygen Advantage. He also promotes Buteyko breathing. So you might have heard that name. You can always check him out. You can go and read his book. There's a few books that I've read and studied, and I've dived into the science, and I'm loving the science of what I see. So the Oxygen Advantage by Patrick McKeown is the first book that I read. It's fantastic. If you read James Nestor's Breath, the new science of the lost art, that's another wonderful book. James Nestor is a journalist, and he taped his mouth. He taped his nose for 2 weeks, and then he felt horrible breathing through his mouth. And in this book, he describes the whole journey and how he's discovered the importance of breathing. You can also listen or read both of these books. The Breathing Cure by Patrick McKeown talks about all the conditions that can help to improve just by improving breathing. There's so many conditions like anxiety, asthma, hay fever, blood pressure, diabetes, epilepsy, insomnia, back pain, so many things that can be improved. I think we still need modern medicine, which I'm certainly a promoter of. But if we can harness the magic of breathing and low-carb eating real food, then we can thrive and harness all these free resources. First of all, I'm going to talk about religion. Your relationship with your breath is your personal religion. This relationship ends only with your last exhale. You can always turn to your breath. It's your own religion. You have it all the time. You can always turn back onto your breathing. If you have someone turn back on you, you can turn to your breathing. If you're stressed, you can harness your breathing. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can always go back to your own religion until your last breath. As I said, there's so many lifestyle pillars that I have dived into, and each of it has its own lifestyle pillars. There's eating real food, like eating good foods and protein, healthy fats, is a good way of a lifestyle. An ineffective way is eating your junk food, sugars, and always try to steer my patients away from eating all the sugars and junk food. Breathing through your nose is an effective way of breathing. We can also say breathing through your mouth is like eating junk food, except it's like eating or breathing in junk air. If you have listened to Max Gullhane about circadian health, he says sunlight is magic. and he says artificial light, too much screen, too much Wi-Fi, that's junk. So that's like the junk food equivalent of a junk diet. Active lifestyle is of course magic. Sedentary lifestyle, driving cars too much or sitting down too much, is a junk way of living and not active at all. Practicing mindfulness and meditation is magic, and if you're stressing yourself out, that is not effective for your lifestyle. Of course, it's easier said than done to manage your lifestyle. So I'm just digging all these rabbit holes. You can look into food, you can look into breathing, you can look into circadian health. So many things that you can look at. So thank you for those who commented. Thank you Anita, Fiona, Nick and Robin for joining us. What do you think? Nose breathing or mouth breathing? Which one is healthier? I might have alluded that before in my previous slide. So you can comment on my comment. What do you think? Nose breathing or mouth breathing? You might have seen on my social media about that. And maybe I thought we can all do our respiratory rate together. I'm going to start a timer and we're all going to count our breaths to see how many breaths you do in 1 minute. So I'm going to breathe loudly and I might count my own breaths. We're going to all start together and see how many breaths a minute you do. So we're going to start in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're starting. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. So I counted mine and mine's about 12. I deliberately slowed down. Maybe I was a bit conscious, but put your comment and tell me how many breaths you count. Hopefully you're not too conscious and slow down your breathing a bit and being aware of how many breaths you had. And we'll talk in a minute what an ideal number of breaths per minute. So type in the comment. Anita's got 16, 13. That's pretty good, Fiona. Nick is 25. You've got lots of room for improvement. So we can talk about that in a few minutes. Deborah is 16. That's not bad. Robin's 18. And thank you for commenting. What if we're breathing too much? So you all know by now, because you follow all my social media, that eating too much is no good. Eating too much makes you fat and makes you overweight and makes you not well. What if we're breathing too much? Breathing too much it's also no good. It's quite detrimental. And I'm going to go into why breathing too much is no good. So there's a thing called functional breathing and there's a thing called dysfunctional breathing. Functional breathing is when you breathe properly. And of course, dysfunctional means you're not breathing properly. And there's actually a very high percentage. 1 in 10 people have dysfunctional breathing. So many of us have dysfunctional breathing. And how do you tell you have Functional breathing is majority of the time you breathe through your nose. You're using your abdomen or your belly. Your breathing is quiet and silent, invisible at rest. Slow breathing, 8 to 12 breaths per minute. So those of you who are breathing more than 12 or even 15, you might have room for improvement. And functional breathing is slow volume. Doesn't sound heavy, you shouldn't be able to hear it. The opposite of it is dysfunctional breathing. You're breathing through your mouth. You might not be using your belly or diaphragm properly and using your upper chest. So if you look at your upper chest and you're breathing using the upper chest, it's irregular and chaotic, and it's audible with fast breaths, 15 to 20 breaths per minute, and high volume. I have a lady who I vividly remember that she's breathing so heavily each time she comes in and breathing through her mouth. I so want to tell her about her breathing, but sometimes we can't talk about everything. Again, this is the information about dysfunctional breathing. Breathing through your mouth. You can hear breathing through rest. Sighing. Some people have sighs all the time. Or they're sniffing. Or they're taking large breaths prior to talking. They might be yawning or using upper chest. Breathing through the mouth at night is also not good. So dysfunctional breathing can impact your whole body. It can cause a brain fog, inability to concentrate, inability to get a deep, satisfying breath, and you can't unwind, you don't sleep properly. You can also feel a feeling of anxiety and stress. It increases your heartbeat and it makes you feel anxious and palpitations. You might also get cold hands and feet because your circulation isn't good. And I'll get into the science a little bit later on why we shouldn't breathe too much. So what do you think? Do you think you have functional breathing or dysfunctional breathing? You can put in the comments what you think, and or you can not tell me if you like. What causes dysfunctional breathing? What do you think causes bad breathing? Again, it's the bad foods that the whole society is eating. The processed foods and overeating, eating too much, causes dysfunctional breathing. Lack of exercise, sedentary lifestyle is also a culprit. Talking too much. Some people's job is talking, or they're teachers, they talk too much. They might be using their upper chest and they might feel stressed and anxious. Sometimes just having stress, you're not concentrating on your breathing and you feel like you have to breathe more to relieve the anxiety. Just having stress can cause a dysfunctional breathing. Sometimes some people are told that they should take big breaths and more breathing to get more oxygen, which is actually not true. So getting the wrong information can make you take big breaths and more breaths. That is actually quite detrimental, and we'll get into the science a bit later. If you have a warm house, turn the heater on. That might actually make you have dysfunctional breathing because the air is warm and you want to breathe more. If you have asthma, that might cause a dysfunctional breathing, and maybe it runs in the family. That might cause a dysfunctional breathing. So we should always breathe through your nose rather than breathe through your mouth. The magic of the nose is for breathing. There is nothing in the mouth that is for breathing. You should never use your mouth for breathing unless you're very, very rigorously exercising. If you breathe through your nose, you can have higher oxygen uptake by 10 to 20%. And we'll get into the science of why it happens. It humidifies the air and make your air warm, and so the air doesn't irritate your airways. It removes bacteria and germs because all the nose hair is doing its magic and filtering all the bacteria and the bugs. There's this magic gas called nitric oxide, When you have nitric oxide, it pulls into the nasal cavity. When you have air, the nitric oxide builds up in the nasal cavity. It's a vasodilator, which means it opens up blood vessels. It can help to improve your blood pressure. It can even have improving immune system. During COVID, there's scientists that try to do nitric oxide scientific experiments to try and get nasal sprays with nitric oxide so it can reduce your chance of catching COVID. Breathing through your nose also calms and soothes the body and engages your parasympathetic nervous system. It also works oxygenation to the lower part of the lungs, because if you breathe properly, air goes down properly into your lungs. The dangers of mouth breathing is when you mouth breathe, quite often it goes to the chest rather than goes to your belly or diaphragm. It increases your stress response. You engage your sympathetic nervous system rather than the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system makes you stressed. Parasympathetic makes you peace and quiet. So P for parasympathetic for peace. Mouth breathing also causes dry mouth and increases your risk of dental caries, because the air actually makes your mouth acidify and increases your dental caries. Mouth breathing in children affects jaw development and causes poor posture, increases their chance of needing orthodontic treatment. If you breathe through your mouth all the time, you can snore and you can have obstructive sleep apnea. And the more you mouth breathe, the more you don't use your nose, the more stuffy your nose gets, and it's a vicious cycle. I found in my patients, if I don't ask them, nobody knows if they're nose breathing or mouth breathing. So when I ask them, they don't even know. Hopefully, now that I've asked them, I've made them aware that they should be nose breathing rather than mouth breathing. Children breathing through their mouth is quite detrimental for their health. They can upset their jaw development. Even if they're just breathing through their mouth at night, that can be no good for them. Dries the mouth, reduces the immune system, and the bacteria and the viruses can get into the mouth without filtering. Back in the ancient days, mums actually used to shut their baby's mouth if they breathe through the mouth. You can see some of the pictures of kids or adults that use more mouth breathing, have more receded chins, they might have smaller airways and maybe a more prominent nose, and their figure or their face actually isn't as appealing, isn't as attractive. So why am I so passionate about teaching proper breathing, functional breathing? Because we can lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight. And we can reduce stress. The modern lifestyle makes us so stressed. We feel stressed all the time. It can improve concentration. Everybody can help with more concentration, function better, perform better at work and at school. It can improve asthma, reduce anxiety, sleep better, improve energy, and even improve exercise tolerance. So it's so beneficial to have good breathing. Anita said, what about breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth? My psychologist had advised me to do that to reduce stress. I think this psychologist just followed everyone's advice, which is that advice, and they haven't looked into the science of functional breathing. And we'll go into why this is the case through a bit of a science talk a little bit later. There's further benefits of training functional breathing. Again, we think better, we improve our vagal tone so we can harness our rest and digest parasympathetic peaceful nervous system. We can help to regulate emotions. We can increase oxygen uptake. More nitric oxide means we can protect from infections, from viruses, and we can improve circulation, open up our blood vessels with more nitric oxide. Defense against germs, that's from the nitric oxide. Can humidify the air and improve water balance, because if you're breathing in and out through your mouth, you'll be losing water. And if you do that all night, you feel dry mouth. We can sleep better, improve our sleep quality, and in turn we can function better. And we can even improve our posture and our spine stabilization. We can improve asthma and hay fever, improve our exercise, and in kids it's very important for the facial development. This is a diagram, if you can see it. If you're live, you can see the diagram of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is the peaceful nervous system, rest and digest. That's the vagus nerve, and learning to breathe properly can improve our parasympathetic nervous system, which helps rest and digest. In also helps with improving our gut health, because we're digesting better and the food goes better. It's so much benefits. Whereas the sympathetic nervous system, we're rushing around all the time, drop-off pickups, stress, too much work, then that is the flight-fight nervous system response. So sympathetic makes you stressed. Here it is, Anita. Here's the breath myth. It's a myth. The myth is it's good to take a big breath. Breathing in more air actually deprives your brain of oxygen. So breathing more air more frequently, bigger breaths, not breathing properly, actually makes you more lacking oxygen. So it deprives your brain of oxygen, because if you're hyperventilating, you actually get dizzy and you get more stressed. So less is more. Just like intermittent fasting with our low carb eating. Fasting is great, so we can burn off some fat. Not breathing can be better than breathing. Less is more. Less breaths makes you accumulate more carbon dioxide and in turn increases oxygen absorption. Breathing too much causes all these problems. It causes palpitations, chest pain, dizziness, shortness of breath, cramps, allergies, even reflux, difficulty swallowing, exhaustion, impaired concentration, impaired memory, sweating, nightmares. So you should all know this by now. Which gas is more important in regulating your breathing, your oxygen or carbon dioxide? Put in the comment in the chat, what do you think? Oxygen or carbon dioxide? Which gas is more important? I've alluded it quite a few times now. This is the science which I'm trying to alert to. In the 1800s, there's a scientist called Christian Bohr who noticed this science of the oxygen from the lungs comes to the red cells and it sticks to the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is in the red blood cells. So if you have oxygen, it's carried by hemoglobin and it carries around your blood with the oxygen bonded to the hemoglobin. When you get to the tissues, the oxygen is released to the tissues like the muscle. If you're running, it supplies your legs and your lungs so you can exercise and breathe properly. What carbon dioxide is doing is when you have more carbon dioxide, it changes the shapes of the hemoglobin and it helps the oxygen level, helps the oxygen molecule to be released into the cells and the tissues. So if you have more carbon dioxide, it opens up your hemoglobin, so it releases the oxygen to more tissues, muscles, lung, everything. Carbon dioxide, it's also a vasodilator, opens up our blood vessels, improves blood pressure, and it regulates acid-base balance. Carbon dioxide is actually acidic, so if they're more acidic, you have more oxygen that goes into the tissue. So having more carbon dioxide actually helps your blood to have more oxygen. I have lots of carbon dioxide, and it's not oxygen, unfortunately. We need both oxygen and carbon dioxide, but it's the carbon dioxide that helps to regulate the breathing. It's having carbon dioxide that initiates your body to breathe, because building up carbon dioxide, the body doesn't like it. So the optimal breathing is about 12 breaths. Having 15 to 18 breaths actually is too much breathing, hyperventilation. You can do a Bolt score after you finish. And how to do a Bolt score is you take a normal breath in and normal breath out, and hold your nose with your fingers to hold your breath. Count the number of seconds until you first feel the distinct desire to take a breath in. If you do this afterwards, you just take a normal breath in, take a normal breath out, hold your nose, count until you feel like you need to take a big breath. If your time is more than 25 seconds, that's great. You've got 89% chance that your breathing is functional. If your time is less than 25 seconds, your time is too fast, too little. You're probably dysfunctional breathing, and there's always room for improvement. So what we try to do is breathe light, reduce our volume, breathe a little bit less, and breathe slow and deep. So many benefits. We can do better in our breathing, we can have more oxygen, more nitric oxide, more carbon dioxide, open up our blood vessels, improve our parasympathetic nervous system. Just a caution is pregnant women in their first trimester should be careful, because they're at high risk of having miscarriages anyway, and we don't want to increase their risk of miscarriages. People with panic disorders or anxiety attacks can need to be careful, because sometimes just holding their breaths or breathing slow can trigger off a panic attack. Uncontrolled hypertension, these people need to be careful. Obstructive sleep apnea or severe cardiovascular disease can do a little bit of practicing, but maybe best to check with a practitioner. So slow breathing, light breathing and deep breathing is what we're trying to achieve. We might do a practice exercise a little bit later in a few minutes to try and know how to do slow breathing, light breathing. The magic is we just have to try and notice our breathing during our day-to-day life. Notice you're breathing through your nose. Try and slow down if you're breathing too fast, and simply be aware of what your breathing is like. I also try to breathe through my nose even when I'm exercising. When I'm running, if I'm not running very fast, I would be breathing through my nose most of the run. Sometimes if I'm doing a 5-kilometer run, I'll be breathing through my nose for the first 2 kilometers, and then I get tired and breathe through my mouth for a little bit. And you can also, you can also tape your mouth. If you don't know if you're breathing through your mouth or your nose at night, you might as well just tape your mouth with a very simple tape called a micropore tape. Then you can make sure you're breathing through your nose. You can type in the chat any questions that you might have, and we might do a quick breathing exercise so you know what breathing exercise is. So I would get you to, let's do this breathing exercise together. Let's get you to find a comfortable position. You can close your eyes, take a few moments to pay attention to our breath. I'll get you to take 3 slow breaths into your belly, into your lungs, in through your nose, out through your nose. This exercise is about tuning into the sensation of breathing, allowing ourselves to fully be present in each inhale and exhale. Let's take a breath together, in and out, and in and out. Simply notice the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice how you're feeling. Pay attention to the sensations of your breath. Notice the coolness of the air as you inhale and the warm air as you exhale. Feel the rise and the fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. And you feel your body relaxing. Expand your awareness to your whole body. Feel the air as it goes in through your nose, into your airways, into your lungs, energizing every cell. And we take 4 more breaths in and out. Through your nose, in and out. 2 more, in and out. 1 more, in and out. Take a moment to express gratitude for your breath. It sustained you, nourished you, and connected you to the present moment. To finish off this exercise, we're going to take 1 more slow breath at your own pace. Breathing in, enjoying the sense of calm that fills your body and your mind. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and take a moment of how you feel. I hope this has made you feel a bit relaxed. We're going to keep going for a little bit more. You can put in the comment how you feel. So Anita says, it feels like I get less breath in when I breathe in through my nose and I want to breathe through my mouth. How can I be more comfortable nose breathing? The thing is practicing. That is actually good that you feel like you get less breath in. That is called air hunger. If you feel like you're not breathing as much air, you feel like you need more air, that is actually good training for your body to tolerate more carbon dioxide. So through practice, you can build up more carbon dioxide tolerance. So Nick says, I use breathe right strips for running to open up nasal cavity more. Absolutely, that's great. So there's nasal dilators, you can use these strips to open up more. You can do some training, practice nose breathing. Fiona saying, feeling very relaxed and even sleepy. That's great that it's harnessing your parasympathetic peaceful nervous system, and I would encourage you more to practice more breathing exercises with me. That is why I have planned a 10-day Breathe Together with Me challenge. This is a special benefit if you join the Low Carb Pro membership. I have existing about 11 people in the Low Carb Pro membership. We've been meeting for about over a year, every fortnight in Zoom every fortnight Thursday at 7:30. So as a bonus of the Low Carb Pro membership, I'm starting this new initiative. Hopefully more people can join my membership to do this 10-day Breathe Together with Me challenge. And you can join with me every day for 10 days at 7 o'clock p.m. and we will do breathing exercises. Some of the exercises will be recorded, some of them will be live, depending on how busy I am and if I want to be live or recorded. But if you can't join, you can leave it for the next morning. You don't have to turn up at 7. It's just sitting in the Low Carb Pro Facebook group. And I will put all the breathing exercises and all the webinars into a learning portal, and you can access it in your own time. The breathing exercises is just 5 to 10 minutes. I have done meditation or breathing exercises every morning when I first wake up, and now it's built up to 10 minutes every day. And I feel much better for it. A bit more comment is Jacinta said, I was told to breathe out through my mouth by psych. It's good to know breathe out through nose is okay. Absolutely. I would say breathing through your mouth is probably not bad, but it will be better to be breathing through your nose in and out, and even less is better. Less is more. So the benefits of joining Low Carb Pro is we do our fortnightly webinars, as I said, through Zoom, and I talk about different topics. Last time we talked about processed foods, and the time we talked about artificial sweeteners. Everything is recorded and it's in the learning portal. You can access it. You can still go back and access it. So you can access the Masterclass vault and the Low Carb Pro webinar vault, and I've got a big list of resources which you can access. Last year I did a gut health talk with the Low Carb Down Under, not Low Carb Down Under, Low Carb Roadshow with Real Life Medicine. So you can access that talk from joining Low Carb Pro. And last year, February, I did a Low Carb Info Afternoon. You can access all those talks as well. And the benefits of low carb course talk. Earlier this year in January, I did a 7-day lifestyle reboot course on each of the lifestyle pillars. So if you join Low Carb Pro, it's $25 a month. You can cancel after a month if you like, or you can stay for as long as you like. Very cheap. You can access all those things. So the take-home message from this masterclass is, first of all, be breath aware. Learn to know that, are you breathing through your nose or are you breathing through your mouth? Practice more nose breathing as often as you can. Try and make sure you're breathing through your nose even when you're sleeping. Going for a walk, try and do nose breath. Less is more. So less breathing is better. Quality over quantity. I haven't really gone into breathing into your diaphragm, but breathing through your diaphragm is much better than chest breathing. So these are the 3 take-home messages, and I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass. You are most welcome to put more comments in or questions in the comments, and I will answer more questions. So not the whole purpose, I still want to educate people even if you don't decide to join Low Carb Pro, but I would really love more people to come breathe together with me. Starting next Thursday, we're going to do this Breathe Together with Me challenge. Every day at 7 p.m, we'll do breathing exercises. I hope after 10 days you can build a habit of doing breathing exercises as a regular habit. So every day at 7, I thought we can do this breathing exercises after dinner. If it doesn't suit you, you can tune it to what time you like, whatever time you like. And you can breathe at your own time, in your own space, listening to my breathing exercises if you like, or we can breathe together at 7. It doesn't really matter. So thanks, Jan, for commenting. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nick, for joining. Thank you, Deborah, for tuning in. And thank you, Jacinda. Thank you, Robin. You know all this, Robin, so I hope you learn a little bit more, or maybe get you back into thinking about breathing. Any more questions, you're most welcome to put in the comments. Everyone who is joining me later after the live masterclass, live Facebook stream, you're most welcome to shoot me any emails, and I hope more people would be interested in joining the Low Carb Pro. $25 a month. You can join and you can discontinue after 1 month or 2 months or however you like, if you feel like you don't want to keep going. It's very cheap with so much content, so many people in the group that is super helpful, and you can even request what sort of topics you like me to talk about. Sometimes I'm running out of topics, and you can tell me what topics you like, and having that accountability every fortnight we catch up, maybe just help you with getting back on track and getting the support you need. And through a group atmosphere, we can harness each other's support. All right. So I think Facebook will still allow you to post questions in the comments, or if you don't want anyone to know what questions you have, you're most welcome to shoot me an email or private message me. I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass, and I hope you can be breath aware, practice functional breathing, and improve your BOLT score. Before we finish, I want to tell you about an exciting event I'll be hosting. I have planned a low-carb dinner at Bucatini Restaurant in Mitcham on Saturday, 18th of May, 6:30. Please join us in this event with delicious food, inspiring conversations, and practical insights on how to live a low-carb lifestyle. I have invited health coach Charlie Nestor and nutritionist Carla Veed Carter as guest speakers. I have organised sponsors with prizes in the goodie bags. We have plenty of time to ask questions and connect with each other. And we'll have an amazing lucky draw with lots of contribution from our sponsors. So please join me in this amazing event I have put together for you. Don't miss out, reserve your spot, tickets are limited. Head to my website or check out the show notes for more details. Hope to see you there. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and motivating. Remember, your health journey is a marathon, not a sprint. Implementing small, sustainable changes over time can lead to sustainable improvements in your well-being. Remember, these podcasts are not to be treated as medical advice. You should see your own doctor for medical treatment, or you can come in to see me in my clinic in Melbourne Low Carb Clinic, face-to-face or telehealth Australia-wide. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate and review us on your favourite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue bringing you valuable content. I also want to invite you to head to the website of Melbourne Low Carb Clinic to download a free ebook and join my free community on Facebook. Stay connected with us on the socials. And don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family who might benefit from our discussions. Until next time, keep prioritizing your health and embrace the power of lifestyle medicine. Take care and see you soon on Prescribing Lifestyle.